and a good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Hey, guys, I'm doing real well, and can't believe this is ready to roll here on Sunday. Our guys are ready and looking forward to a big Sunday night.
Oh, yes, sir. We are, too. It's very exciting, and another chance to beat Tom Brady, Stephen. Is this something that you guys need to get done, or do you feel like you have the matchup to do it?
Well, first of all, yes. I mean, it's something that's obviously winning your first game and playing against, probably the greatest of all time. Not probably by any measurement he is, and we certainly are going to have our work cut out for us. But it's very important that we get out there and win this football game.
Stephen, you went out and got Jason Peters, and you're starting a rookie at left tackle. I watched Jason Peters myself. I thought he was the best available tackle on the street. So I think that's a great thing for you right there myself. But can you talk about how you guys came to that decision? Was it something that you just needed to protect yourself, or is it just, hey, it was just too good of an opportunity not to make happen?
Well, I think all the above, Brian. I think, as we say, we're always trying to improve our roster, but no one, getting hit with the Tyron Smith issue, with the injury, knowing that he's going to miss, at a minimum, a little over half the season, then obviously, even with us picking Smith and Willetsko, we were counting on having Tyron in there. And so it was a great opportunity that presented itself that too good to pass up, especially when you compare him, and not in any way to be negative or derogatory toward the two Collins gentlemen we had in here, plus Nasecki. But he was just, when Will and I sat down and he showed me his tape from Chicago, it was obviously, a great opportunity for us to, add to our situation there in the offensive line. So I would say both. It was certainly a need, and we all know with Willetsko and having to battle through the injury through camp, and knowing that that's still, somewhat of, could become an issue again at some point. It was the right thing and the smart thing to do for us.
Stephen, is there an off-season storyline or narrative about the team that we've that you feel like maybe has been overblown by us as the media?
In terms of, well, I guess the biggest thing I would say that I wouldn't be necessarily in a total agreement on is just that we're not as good a team as we were last year. I mean, we certainly had, some players that we know well leave. At the same time, we also know our roster and know we have young guys that need opportunities to step up and take the next step and hopefully even upgrade us. And so I think the biggest thing is just, and it remains to be seen, I certainly understand why it is being said, but when you have Amari Cooper and Randy Gregory and Lyle and, Connor Williams, there's certainly, went on to play somewhere else, but we also, we were eyes wide open when that happened. So, there's just, can understand why it's being said. At the same time, obviously we think a little bit differently because we certainly could have, done something differently if we wanted that not to have been the case.
It is remarkable that you guys lost 3 or 4 really fine players and you still have one of the most talented rosters in the league. I don't know if that's ever been done, Stephen.
Well, I'd start with, we would have not had other guys here had we chosen different directions. I mean, I know for sure we wouldn't have had, we wouldn't be looking at, Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong, guys like that on our team. You're probably not necessarily looking at having a number one and a tackle had you made a different decision, and Tyler Smith, which we're certainly glad that we do. Losing both, losing Connor Williams as well. I mean, you certainly feel when you lose a Connor and a Lyle, you need to do something about that in the draft, and we certainly did with Tyler and thrilled with his progress. Obviously going to be our starting left tackle there day one. Some of those things, I think caused us to make moves that I think we'll look back on and say, hey, I'm glad we made that move. And certainly, if we keep Amari, I don't know that we're able to re-sign Gallup. And I know right now Gallup's out of sight, out of mind for for most of our fans. But this is a young man who I think, given the opportunity, is really going to make people open their eyes, and certainly was playing well before his injury, and going to be back, I think, sooner than most people think.
Seeing how close you guys are and you have the cap space, was there any regret not going after Von Miller after seeing him last night?
Well, Von Miller's a great football player, and those are when you see him playing at that level, and especially this early, there's a lot of school of thought on older guys like that. That when you really get those guys are for the more so for the playoffs than it is for the for the first part, middle of the season. Now, granted, I'm sure there was a little bit of motivation for Von, after playing with the Rams and winning the Super Bowl, to go out there and really showcase what he's all about. But, there's a lot of players that, if there was unlimited cap space that you could do things. But that wasn't a short-term, one-year deal. It was a long-term deal. And, we had to not only look at what we're doing this year, but look at what we're going to be coming at us here in the next year or two, and just, made a conscientious decision there that we wanted to go with the direction that we went.
Stephen, in getting ready for this game, I feel like your strength of your team might be your secondary, and I'm talking about your cornerbacks. I know Jordan Lewis was a little nicked up, and we're kind of waiting some word on him if there's any for that. But can you talk about what you feel like that your strength is? Is it the secondary, the linebackers? Is there one group that you particularly are super proud of that you've put together?
Yeah, I think in general our defensive football team, from bottom to top, and that's, of course, I know I've seen Mike speak to it. While we've kept more players on the defensive side of the ball, I think not only our front line players, but our depth there is the best I've seen it in many, many years. And that's not only the secondary, but you look at the linebacking core. When you're looking at a Damone Clark coming back maybe sooner than later, you're looking at certainly adding Anthony Barr to a solid group. And, it's just you're going to see a lot from Harper and Gifford on the special team side of things. I mean, that linebacking core is as solid as we've had in a while. And then you look at the depth in our defensive front. I do think, we've had some of our best defenses when you can keep all those guys fresh. And, you add Micah to that front in terms of the pass rush. When you look at the rush group with D-Law and, of course, a young guy, Sam Williams, and then you got a Fowler and a Basham. I think we can keep the bodies fresh there. And then certainly Tristan Hill stepped up to go with Osa and Gallimore, and then you got the big bodies with Bohannon and Ridgeway. I just think it's a group we can keep fresh and get a lot of production out of.
Stephen Jones with us here in the GBag Nation. Stephen, I've been telling my Cowboy fan friends all offseason, hey, don't worry, we're going to get a heavy dose of Tony Pollard this year. We're going to see him in all sorts of different ways. Am I going to be proven right to my buddies come Sunday night?
Well, I think everybody's been consistent in the building that Pollard needs to touch the ball more. And, first of all, we'll start with Zeke. I think he's ready for a big year. He's healthy. He feels good. And, of course, no one wants to win more than Zeke. He's the ultimate competitor and certainly comfortable with, the roles we're going to be using Pollard in. I think it's only going to help Zeke even more stay fresh throughout the year. As we all know, the last couple of years, and only because, most guys would probably sit it out for 3 or 4 games. He just wants to go out there and compete and win. But, you can certainly see from his comments, he's all in, and certainly we need to get Pollard more touches. And, that'll come from, not having Amari here, too. There's going to be more balls to go around, and, getting Pollard the ball is, certainly a priority along with, along with CD, along with Zeke, along with Schultz, and that young tight end group's really been impressive, here in the preseason. We'll see, how they do when it starts for real here Sunday, but feel great about them as well.
Stephen, can you kind of walk us through the selling point of what the pro scouts did with you with Turpin and how you came to determination? I know the special teams showed up, but what was the selling points about him from the pro scouts to you when you were having to make that decision?
you like to watch football and you turn football on in the spring, you saw Turpin.
And you like what you
No,
saw?
I'm kidding.
I
think if you watch him, I think if you watch a returner be the MVP of the league,
Sure.
I think that says a lot. But obviously, you go back and that's what he's done. He did it in college. He did it this spring. He's just dynamic. And from the day he walked in the door, I don't think anyone thought, when we signed him, or we would have signed him a lot sooner, that he was going to be a 53 player the day he walks in the door. But certainly we were looking for a slot. We could, have the return ability. He's obviously shown to be very dynamic in space. He's shown to be a player who can, add some things on the offense as well as be a special teams player. But this guy's 0 to 60 in about a step is, I think, rare and unique. And he just turned out to be a great fit for us, and look forward to seeing him make some big plays for us this year.
Yeah, it's really exciting to watch him back there at AT&T, Stephen. And speaking of the stadium, I know you like having people visit and all that, but Coach had to practice with crowd noise yesterday for a home game. I'm kind of smiling when I say it, Stephen, but has this gone too far now?
I just think any way you can prepare your football team for anything you might not know about, then, it's good for our team. And, they're going to be used to noise. It's going to be a part of our game. We all know that's what it's all about. And, like you said, you shake your head a little bit when it's going on while the offense has the ball. But, these fans at night, they get a little crazy. They just want to stand up and yell the whole time.
Okay, yeah, I see that too.
Now, Steven, I'm actually going to be at the game on Sunday, so I'm excited to try some of these new concession items. It looks like we got a pretty good slate added to the menu here. Lobster mac and cheese, and we got the touchdown tots. I'll be swimming in some touchdown tots for sure. The buffalo chicken nachos are going to be incredible. How much of a say do you have in this, Steven? Have you tried any of these new menu items?
I'd say little or nothing. I count on people who know a lot more about that than I do, but I'm sure I'm going to get me a mouthful as well during the game, and they bring some of the new items by for us to taste as we're sitting there. But our guys at Legends, they do a great job, and they really got a great feel for what fans are, what they like to get their hands on these days, and I expect it to be second to none. We certainly want our fans to have the best, and I expect it'll be a great variety and something our fans will enjoy.
Oh, it's going to be delicious. I cannot wait. Now, speaking of fans, how much of a fan are you on a football Sunday, Steven? You're playing the night game, so are you going to be like the rest of us, or are you going to be in your underwear on the couch just pounding bags of chips and soaking in the red zone, and you'll make it over to AT&T for kickoff, or what's the deal?
Well, hopefully I won't be in my underwear by the time these games start to kick off. But I usually like to get a good workout in the morning. But I am a huge fan and love to watch the games. Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico were down at our practice today because they're doing our game. And I said, damn, am I dreaming? I went to bed last night, and the last thing I saw were you two on TV talking about Tom Brady, and here you are at practice. So they don't let any grass grow under their feet. But I watched every bit of that game last night, and obviously an outstanding game, and it's going to be great to have Chris and Mike calling our game. But actually, I do enjoy watching and taking in as many of the games as I can, especially on a night game. I'll, of course, pick one at noon and one at 3 to probably follow more than the rest of them, but we'll be keeping up with all of them and a huge fan.
I'm all curious about this Stephen Jones Sunday morning workout here. What's Stephen Jones's favorite body part to get after it in the weight room?
I'm actually the weights have passed me by for the most part. I'm a big take about an hour long walk, do me a little stretching, and then finish it off with a little heat, steam or sauna, and then sit back, all relax and watch the pregame shows, get a shower, and then watch me some football.
There you go, baby. Good. That's a beautiful Sunday. And whatever you're doing, it's working, Steven. I saw you out there in Oxnard, baby. You're keeping it tight. You're looking good.
I don't know. That little, my daughter just had a baby. Sometimes I'm wondering if I got one on the way.
I know the feeling all too well.
Man, that's great stuff. Thank you so much, Steve. Let's have a big year. Give him hell. We'll be pulling for you.
Absolutely, guys. Always enjoy it. Look forward to visiting with you guys all year.